today's lesson on life is kids and teens. It's not the end of the world. I'm so excited to talk about this topic because I love my kids and my teens and talking to them about things that will help make their life better. My goal is to educate today. We've been talking about suicide prevention all month long. And so today we're going to talk about hopelessness, because sometimes suicide might not resonate with someone, but that feeling of hopelessness does. And so I want to talk to our young people about their thoughts about every major situation being the end of the world. And parents, I know you've heard this. You're ruining my life. Your life is over. And we want to offer solutions for dealing with life as a young person. Some of the normal things that you're just going to go through in middle school and high school. We all went through it. It's just something you're going to go through. And ultimately how to encourage you to continue on in life and having a wonderful, healthy life, because you have so much life ahead of you. Please welcome to the show, Ms. Tanya Jones, Prevention Supervisor at Western Tidewater Community Services Board. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you.
Share a little bit about your role at Western Tidewater Community Services Board.
Okay, I am the Wellness Promotion Manager for the Western Tidewater Community Services Board. Within that department, we do offer a course called Youth Mental Health First Aid. Beautiful. We do offer nurturing parenting, and we also facilitate evidence-based groups within the schools and the community and in our churches.
Beautiful, beautiful. So Tanya has done a lot of work with young people, and she has a wonderful spirit. And so I've invited her to just join me in a conversation and sort of encouraging our youth. So there's a couple of things we're going to talk about from a clinical perspective, but also sort of from a practical perspective, because we want our young people and our parents to sort of listen up a little bit. Okay?
Sure.
You ready?
Yes.
Okay. So you talked a little bit about the programs that you have. So what are some of those life struggles that you hear about from our teens or our young people? Things that they feel like, no one will understand.
One of the things we have the opportunity to facilitate groups in the high school, and we have to let our students know that life does happen. I mean, you are human beings and things do happen. We facilitate a girl group, and every girl go through a breakup. Yes. And it's just like, it's the end of the world. But we are able to facilitate a group through evidence-based curriculums to give them hope that it's going to be okay, and you can have that spirit of resiliency to bounce back.
Yes, yes. And definitely, we're going to talk about some fun things in just a second. But also, I want to touch on, because we're going to talk in fun in just a second. Before we do that, I want to talk about some of the things that our young people might go through that might bring them to think about suicide. Some of those things where they really get to that point where it's like, I don't want to live anymore. What are some of those things that might come to mind for you?
Bullying. Bullying is one of them. Low self-esteem.
Yes.
We do have an opportunity to, we facilitate groups within our local jail, and parents who are incarcerated is a big one for students that we deal with in our school system.
And let's stop there for just a second and talk about incarceration just for a second, because I think a lot of people, I touched on this a little bit in my generational series, but a lot of people and a lot of parents don't understand what kids go through when a parent is not there, and how that can bring them to the brink of suicide because they feel like, you're not there for me.
Sure. We kids, when their families are incarcerated, they feel like they're hopeless, like the world is over. I feel abandoned. I'm alone. But we are able to facilitate those practical parenting groups within the jail with the adult families, and the families who are incarcerated, they're able to advocate for their family while they're there and give us hope to say, okay, listen, my child is out there, I'm here, but can you help me help them while I'm in this situation?
Okay,
so
good. So this program is called
Here Now and Down the Road. It's a parenting program that we do offer to our adults in the jail. It's called Here Now and Down the Road.
That's wonderful. I wanted her to say that again. So in case there's any providers out there who want more information about the program, or any parents who have a loved one who's incarcerated and you want to get more information or go through the program yourself so that you know how to bring family members together. Because I think a lot of people feel like, well, that's just something I have to do myself.
Sure. But we also have a new evidence-based program, Nurturing Parenting, by Dr. Stephen Babalek, that we offer. It's a 15-week free nurturing parenting program, and we do offer it in Suffolk, Franklin, Southampton, Cali, and Alawite. It is free, and it's for 15 weeks.
Okay, and so the nurturing parenting, tell me a little bit about that too.
The nurturing parenting is against it's evidence-based curriculum for our parents, our younger parents, with youth between the ages of 5 to 9 who want to build that hope and learn different interventions out to nurture parenting kids differently.
Okay, beautiful, because these are a lot of things that people sort of go through, and so we're trying to cover a number of things that people might experience. But coming back to our kids and our teens, sort of some of the things that I feel like I see you all struggle with. But we want you to know that you don't have to struggle through those things. And so I want to move to sort of what's normal, because I think a lot of our teens think their parents don't understand. They've never been young. They don't know what they're talking about. They don't know what's hip. They don't know what's, cool. And so they think that, this is middle school and high school is something no one else has been through.
Yes.
And most of us have been through it. And we've experienced some of those things.
And we laugh about it, but, we tell our teens, we know what it's like to smoke a cigarette. We know what it's like to sneak with a boy. We know what it's like to skip school. We know what it's like to cheat on a test. Yeah. But we are here to provide those interventions of hope for you. So when you get to those things, you know what to do.
Exactly. And I want to highlight them. A part of what we're doing is making people aware. And what our young people need to understand is, in making you aware, it normalizes the situation. So I have my fun list that I'm going to read to you. Okay? Because I took some time and I really thought about this. Okay? So as I think back to middle and high school, and I'm sure that a whole lot has not changed, and in working with the schools, you probably hear a lot of this as well. And I hear a lot of this too. So here goes my list. It might be hard to find true friends. It might be hard for you to understand that there's still people are gossiping about you and talking behind your back. What? That's happening? Yes, it happens. It happened then, it's happening now. You have the pressure to fit in, from your clothes to your grades to your sports. Everybody tries to fit in at some point. As adults, not so much but when you're young, you really want to belong. You want to fit in. No one likes to read in front of the class. Okay. No one wants to be the person picked in class, except if you're someone. I was kind of like that. I was kind of that person. I got the answer. Okay. So, but most people don't want to be picked. They don't want to read in front of the class. And I have some students now that are like, please, Dr. Perry, please don't call on me. I don't want to read out loud. Getting picked last or not getting picked at all, being picked on by someone is not going to like you just because you're you. Need you to understand that is something that has been happening probably since the beginning of time. Need you to understand that that's normal. It's nothing that you can't get through. Let me tell you a few other things. You're gonna like someone that does not like you back.
Of course.
Or you may get the person and then y'all break up and then you're going to have a heartbreak and it's going to feel like it's the end of the world and your heart is broken and your chest's going to hurt. I just need you to understand that we've all been there. I need you to understand that your parents are not going to always understand your clothing or your music because they're from a different time, but they do love you. I need you to understand that sometimes you're going to do some stupid things and you're going to mess up and it's going to feel like no one understands you. But people do understand. They really do. And most of us have been through many of these things. Not one, many of these things. And you will want to grow up fast. And as most adults will tell you, it's overrated. It's overrated. Oh, yes. Stay young. Enjoy yourself. Stop trying to move fast. When you're 15, you want to be 21. When you're 16, you want to be, 25. Just be your age. Enjoy being a youth, having your bills paid, having meals prepared for you, having a roof over your head, not having to go to work. Enjoy. All of us know what's coming, okay? And so having a car comes with a car payment. Yes. Having my own place, I can't wait till I move out of here, comes with rent or mortgage, okay? I can't wait till I can buy my own clothes. I hope you can afford them, okay? I just want you to know that these are some of the things that are normal. And so it is not worth giving up your life. You're too precious. I just got to tell you that, okay? So that's my long list. Anything else that you want to add to the list that you think that our young people just go through and they need to know that it's normal?
It is normal. And I think one of the things that we wrestle back and forth as parents is media.
Yes.
We get into a whole combustion about media, and we do understand that you want to communicate with your friends, you want to say hi, but it's not it's how you say hi on Facebook or how you say hi on Twitter, but we just want them to know that we do love them and we do understand.
Yes, we really do. Okay. I just did an article for diverse issues in higher education out of Washington, D.C. And one of the things that is this new thing is parents disciplining their children online. And so responding to that. And as we're talking about this topic, it made me think about what some children might do. The embarrassment, and I'm not talking about the embarrassment of your mother coming to the school in her house coat, okay, or the embarrassment of, your mom coming and she's, having an argument with you on your way out the door and she holding you by the ear, but putting all of this on Facebook
for the world to see
how embarrassing is that, and what that might make a young person think. And so that is not the way to go. So if I have any parents watching the show that is thinking about doing that or has done that, embarrassed your child, some things you need to work out at home. And I always say to my parents, there are two things that you need to just remember: love and discipline. You can never go wrong.
Yes.
You can never love enough. And children need discipline. That's just how they learn.
Yes.
And so thank you so much for joining me on my fun list. So on one hand, we have youth who feel like everything bad is the end of the world. Okay, everything is the end of the world. Some of those things we just talked about. And then you have youth who live like there's no tomorrow. Okay, end of the world group. How can we encourage those people who feel like it's the end of the world?
And it's not. The first thing I do is, our youth are human beings, and we validate their feelings, their real feelings.
Yes.
And so we create that milieu where they can talk to us and that we're open, we're not judgmental. And we sit on the end where we listen to them, and maybe not have it. So very important. And build that rapport where to let them know that you can come to me.
Yes.
And we can have that practical dialogue.
Yes. And I've said that before. You might have to practice your facial expressions.
Oh, yes.
So that when they tell you something, you won't go, what? Okay, watch the face so that you want them to come back and listen to you, okay?
One thing I do recognize with communicating with kids, they can pick it out real fast if you're true.
Yes, genuine. They know.
They can pick it out real quick.
They know. They really do know. They have that sense about you, okay? Yes. And they know if you really mean it, if you really understand, if you're really listening. Then we have the group of people, young people who live like there's no tomorrow. We have our young men who think, I'm not going to live till 25 anyway. You have young people who feel like, I'm not going to, I'm not even looking forward. Some of them they just not thinking about 20. They're not thinking about what might go on their record, or might not think about sort of what you're going to be an adult one day. And this stuff, I tell my young people all the time, be careful what you put on Twitter and what you put on Facebook. Because the military, the FBI, if you're trying to get a job in politics, it does not go away.
And for that group, that's the group I have, like, we need to have a real moment talk. We need to sit down and we need to have some conversation, some dialogue, and we need to help you develop a plan, because you're here now.
Yes.
But what's your plan for the next 5 or 10 years?
Exactly.
And that is that group where we're just having practical talk, real talk, and you're going to walk away with, okay,
wonderful.
You know what? I really do need to get myself together.
Wonderful. And I wanted to point that out because, not all of our young people have a plan, and not everybody, is just sort of giving up on some of those things. But some people are running right towards risk. And so those are the young people. We want to sit them down and, like Tanya was saying, create a plan for them. Some of our young people just need a plan. Someone asks them, what are your dreams? What are your goals? What is it you're going to do? And I'm going to check on you.
Yes.
Hold them accountable. Teach them responsibility. Those are important things that we need to do. So what can our children and teens do when they're feeling hopeless, for some of those resources that, they might just need, not necessarily everything in the community, but how can they reach out?
If we're in the school, go talk to your guidance counselor. Go talk to your peers. Peers that that you can trust, or your teachers that you can trust. You may have, I know every school that we're afforded the opportunity to work with, they do have a mentoring group. Go talk to someone in your mentoring group, or even ask, if you can just call someone.
Okay, wonderful. And as we keep saying, reach out.
Yes.
Reach out, talk to a friend, and it's better to go through this with someone, and that way you don't feel like you're going through it alone. It's better to talk to the guidance counselor, talk to a teacher, your parents, even though if you feel like people, I always tell people sometimes your feelings lie. Okay, you might not feel like you want to live. You might not feel like you feel good about yourself, but sometimes it's a lie. Don't trust the feeling right then because you're going through something. Just do it anyway. Reach out, tell somebody, talk to someone, so you get it out of you, and maybe they can help you find the right resource.
We also have resource officers within the school who they can talk to too.
Yes, we had on a few episodes ago, we had an officer that was here, and I think in a lot of the schools, especially in the cities, there are resource officers where you can go and talk to, and they will definitely make sure that you're getting the help. And you had mentioned bullying earlier.
Yes.
Which is a big thing in our schools and leading a lot of kids. My husband and I were watching TV one night, and the bully program was on that they've been showing around the nation, and it was excellent, but it showed how, I think we lost in that show, I think there was a couple of young people that passed away from bullying, and I think this is something that we definitely need to highlight and get resources for and let kids know, because it's not always, as we talked about in earlier shows with Dr. Farrell, it's not just that child who is quiet.
Oh yes.
So, it could be any of your kids.
Any of our kids.
And so I guess you would agree too, what that looks like is not what people think.
It's not the sad looking kid. It can be the kid who is the most popular kid in the school, the smartest kid in the school. I mean, you just don't know.
Mm-hmm. And interesting, I've seen both. I don't know about you, but I've seen it be the lonely child who is isolated and doesn't talk to anyone. But I've also seen it be the popular football player who has lots of friends, and people going, what? I can't believe he did that. I can't believe that happened. And then they don't know how to deal with that. And so I think it's the same way with our young people, that we need to highlight what that looks like. What does a suicidal child look like?
And if you suspect that a peer is being bullied, tell someone.
Yes.
Tell if you just suspect, or if you heard it, just talk to your guidance counselor, talk to the teachers, talk to your principals, talk to someone about and just let them know what is going on with that student.
Yeah. And again, like I said earlier, if you are a teacher, or you're the resource officer, or you're the person who notices it, it's time for us to take a stand. Oh, sure. And again, that doesn't mean you stand on a soapbox and you yell out things. That means you see someone down, you see someone hurting, grab a hand, pick a person up, stop and say something to them. There's just so many little things that you can do that make a difference in a child's life especially, and we want them to live.
And I know in every school that we work in doing orientation, they do have a bullying hotline that the families can call if they suspect that their child is being bullied.
Yes. Wonderful. Thank you so much for that. From a prevention standpoint, what can adults do to prevent suicide or suicidal ideation? Anything you want to add from that perspective?
Attend your youth mental health first aid training. If you don't know, call us at the board. We have lots of material that we can give you. We have trained clinicians that can come out and hold sessions with you.
Beautiful.
But there's so much information out there on the internet, at your schools.
Yes.
We afforded the opportunity to put out a lot of information in our doctor's office.
Good.
Any community agency that we partner with, we give information about suicide.
Good. And Ms. Jones is going to come back and give us some more community resources a little later in the show. But is there anything else that you would want to say to our kids and our teens who are watching, who need just sort of a little bit of inspiration, or just to talk them through the situation?
Sure. I like this quote from a very familiar poet, and he said this. He said, "If you chase the butterfly, it would elude you, but if you stand still, it would gently land on your shoulders."
I want you guys to be encouraged. My teens, my youth, you are so important to us. Yes. We have these conversations about you because you're important to us. And I know sometimes it's easy to get lost in the media, social media, everything that the world is throwing at you. But as I tell every young person that comes across my path, just because it's out there does not mean that you need to be a part of it. Just because it's in the store does not mean you need to wear it. Just because somebody said it does not mean it's true about you. Right. I need you to be true to who you are. I want to thank you all so much for watching. It's life changing. I want to thank Ms. Tanya Jones again.
Thank you.
And we'll be right back. It's now time for me to speak into your life. Today I want to talk to you about our resilient children, or resilient kids, as you hear. They say that kids are resilient, and I question that. Are they? Kids are kids. They've only been in this world for so long. I always say, people say, they should have known better. They should know this. And I'll say, they're only 5 years old. They've only been in this world 5 years. The things that they're supposed to learn, they're supposed to learn from their teachers and from their parents. I know that, most people have been told that kids are resilient, and so everything that happens to them, it will be forgotten. They'll get over it. They'll move on. However, that's not always true. It's important that we understand that not all kids get over it. Not all kids forget, and not all kids develop normally just because you say they will. Let me ask you, did you get over your parents' divorce, your father walking out, or the 8 times that you moved, or the 3 different schools you attended in 1 year? Did you get over your parents not attending your PTA meetings or your sporting events? Do you still remember those things? Are they still an important part of your life? Yes, they are. Change can really affect a child. Those early years are important in shaping their psychological well-being. We must understand that we have to sacrifice, the adults, we have to sacrifice what it is that we need to teach our children. The most important job that parents can have is raising their children. I want us to be careful what we pour into their minds, their hearts, and their souls. Pay attention to their feelings, their words, and their actions. If kids come to you and they say they're feeling suicidal or they're thinking about harming themselves, take them serious. And as you've heard me say before, don't dismiss their words, don't dismiss their feelings. Even when they push you away, especially when they're teenagers, even when they push you away, pull them closer. They still need you. Think of them as still your baby, just a little bit bigger. Last thing I want to say to my kids and the teens that are watching, I want you to know these things. 1, life can be hard, but you are brave and strong. And the best way to stop bullying is to stand up for yourself. You have a purpose and a reason why you were born. 3, you are smart and you have something important to do. I need you to remember that. 4, you're unique and you have something special that you are going to do to change lives that no one else can do but you. 5, whatever you might go through, it might hurt now. Please understand that that pain is temporary. You have a good life filled with good things, and you can have an even better life. As you grow up, you can make decisions and do things that will help you along the way. 6, know that suicide is never the answer. Suicide is permanent. You don't get to come back and see your parents or your friends or relive your life. You don't get to ride your bike or drive your car. You don't get to go to graduation. You don't get to get married. It's over unless you're present for your life. I need you to understand how important it is. So many young people, I think they think if I leave this world, then I'll be able to see how things work out. That's not how it works. And so I need you to understand, lastly, 7, that suicide is never an option. Never. So I want you to cry. I want you to laugh. I want you to run, jump up and down. I want you to talk to someone. I want you to get it out of your system. I want you to do whatever you need to do. Scream if you have to. Do what you need to do to get it out. Whatever anger you're feeling, whatever feelings of hurt and pain you're feeling, get it out. Find a way to take a few days to maybe calm down from the feeling that you're having. Face the bully. Talk to your friends. Face the breakup, the beatdown. But most importantly, fight for your life. I want you to know that you're so important and you're so worth it. Thank you so much for watching. It's life-changing. I love you. God bless you. It's now time for our community resources, and we have 2 special guests with us. They're going to share some information about their services and their contact information.
Thank you. For our nurturing parenting program, if families would like to participate in our nurturing parenting program, they could contact me, Tanya Jones. I'm located at 135 South Saratoga Street. My contact number is 942-1969. Feel free to email me, tnicholas@wtcsb.org. And if they want information in regards to our SIS training, health first aid training, any adult or child training,
Wonderful.
They can reach us at 255-7113.
Thank you. Thank you.
So I just wanted to piggyback and mention that we have a team of individuals who coordinate all of our mental health first aid and our assist trainings. So if you'd like to participate in either one of those, you can definitely call that number, which is my office number. As well, you can email me, which is sfarrow@wtcsb.org. www.wtcsb.org. Again, sfarrell@wtcsb.org. And I would love to say as well, not only do we participate in these evidence-based trainings, we can either go out to your organization, we can go out in the community, but then we also host them at our sites as well. And if there's anyone who needs a course that's specifically geared to their organization about any mental health topic, we're able to provide that as well. So just give me a call. We would love to come out to you.
Definitely, and I will definitely be calling you all to have a training for some of my students as well. I think that's wonderful. And we also want to highlight the 1-800-273-TALK number, which is a national hotline for suicide.
Yes.
If you need a lifeline, if you need someone to talk to, make sure you reach out. Again, that's 1-800-273-TALK. And definitely you can contact Ms. Jones or Dr. Farrell at any point about questions within our Western Tidewater area, but also if you're needing services in our other cities. We've been telling you about services all month long. And so again, I want to thank Dr. Farrell. I'm so glad you're on the show so that I can thank you again for this is part of sort of your sort of bringing this up, and also Tanya for being supportive, and Renee Hanna, and escapes me.
Karen Nicely.
Karen Nicely, who's been on the show from Western Tidewater Community Services Board, and to your executive director.
Yes, Demetrius Parasakis.
So we want to say that and say thank you to Western Tidewater for support of It's Life Changing, and also for bringing awareness to suicide, because we've had a wonderful conversation today, but also throughout this whole month. So thank you. Give them a hand. Anything else you'd like to add?
Yes, I just absolutely wanted to say that I'm just thankful to you for having this opportunity to come and bring awareness about this topic. It is very important and near and dear to us. I did want to also mention our director, which is Donna Boykin, who has been super supportive, both her and Demetrius Parasakis. And I wanted to say as well, if you need help outside the Western Tidewater catchment area, feel free to contact us, and we can also refer you to the appropriate board for your area. So don't feel like just because you're not in our area that we can't then provide the important information that you need to get the help you need. So thank you so much for letting us participate and sponsor this event. It's been great.
Yes, this is what community is supposed to look like. You know, all of us working together, all the cities working together to bring resources and awareness about important topics like this. So thank you again. Thank you again for watching It's Life Changing. I hope that we brought you some peace this month, and definitely tonight. Please know that peace is not being without noise, trouble, or hard work, but being in the midst of those things and still being calm in your heart. God bless you.